how would you say you've grown as a student?
Like, not at all.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like my growth as a person in general is on pause.
Well, I've kind of more accepted that this is how it's gonna be for a little bit, so.
It's tough. I guess I've had to teach myself how to teach myself. And that's it's really hard. I guess it's because, I went to college in order to be taught.
Yeah.
But I guess it's also a valuable skill because there's not always going to be someone to tell you how to do things. You gotta figure it out for yourself.
I had to I had to use like some sort of serious initiative. Because spring I was like, oh, it's online, it's chill, I can do a bunch of other shit. And I did. And it made school pretty tough.
I guess I had to use their online resources more thoroughly because usually most of my focus is just in class time. I take really good notes, pay attention, always go to class. But with now a lot of my classes, the class time itself isn't really that important.
How so?
My classes usually when we go in, it's just a summary of what we've read in our textbook.
Mm.
Whereas I felt like in-person classes, I always felt more in depth, and that's on purpose because the teacher doesn't want to. They know they're going to lose you if they're trying to do an actual lecture over 2 hours online.
I don't feel like I've developed in any way beyond just like, I don't know, now I know some things that I didn't know. Like most semesters I feel like there's experiences that I have that aren't simply just like putting facts into my head.
Yeah, I guess the difference was the initiative I took was really just like, okay, I barely hung on in the spring. Now I need to realize that like if I'm going to be a student during this time and be an online student, I'm going to have to like focus on it, right?
Yeah.
So.
How has your routine changed or not changed?
Like setting deadlines for myself, I've had to kind of work on that because otherwise it's like, oh, I don't have to do that. It's not due for a couple days.
Right.
But, again, it still happens. It gets to the last minute and you knock something out, but.
Well, my routine used to involve leaving the house every day and seeing people that I don't live with every day, and now it doesn't. It used to involve like going to class on time. Doesn't do that anymore.
So I guess I've had to change how I look at online resources such as extra homework problems, reading supplements, that kind of stuff. I've had to take them more seriously.
Is there anything that you have gained from online learning?
Pain.
Nothing meaningful, I don't think. Like I guess I'm better at using Zoom. Yeah.
The ability to use Zoom.
I think being more proactive with stuff, because I think it's easier to ask for help in person, like you just stay after, ask the professor, or you can just like go into office hours, there's usually other people there. But I think with online it's more like one-on-one. It's kind of intimidating sometimes because like it's just you and the professor. You could be however far away, and I don't know, so that's just kind of scary to me sometimes. Like if I go in and there's other people there too, it just doesn't feel as intimidating, I'd say.
What are the big challenges?
I don't know, I have a hard time motivating myself to get everything done right away, or it's just been hard.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Going to class,
Yeah.
that's really hard these days. Teaching over the internet is also less than ideal. Like I would much prefer when I'm teaching class to like be able to go in, well, first of all, just be in the same physical space with people, but also just like media is hard over the internet. Like in a math class, I want to be able to like write on the board for people to see.
What can be improved?
I don't know, maybe they should just like adjust their expectations, because some of my classes it feels that they expect the same, if not more, out of us with the workload or like with our knowledge of the content, and like it's hard enough just getting the stuff done required for the class, but like extra stuff going outside of that to learn more or to really solidify it makes it a lot harder.
Getting math students iPads, that'd be pretty sweet. But that's a niche. That's a very niche solution for a niche problem. Like
Maybe classes that are really textbook heavy, the teacher can try to supplement that with some of their own knowledge during the lectures and show more diagrams and graphs and stuff like that. Try to make it more as visual as possible. But I think their professors are in a really tough situation.
Is there anything you hope for this coming year?
I just want them to stop tripping over their own 2 feet.
In what way are they doing that?
Well, they just keep going back and forth on whether or not they want to take this pandemic seriously, or if they're going to charge ahead and try to get people into the dorms, blah blah blah. I think they just gotta set on a course. Either they're gonna try to do more things in person, or they're gonna lock it down for the rest of the year. I don't like all this. I don't like this indecisiveness.